Dave, it's Jeff. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Jeff.
Okay, good. Thanks.
I could too, but I was on mute, so I apologize for that. Maggie, what do you think? Are we ready to get going here, or did you want to give it a few more minutes?
We could probably get started.
Okay. Well, we'll jump in there then. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name's Dave Martini. I'm the city engineer, and I work for Bolton and Mink. Also have Jeff Wyant with us tonight. He's the engineer working on the, he's been working on the feasibility study for this project, and also will be working on the design. Will also be available to answer questions, and somebody will be a resource for you as we continue to move through the project. Maggie, if you could give me the next slide, please. So, whoops,
sorry,
moving a little fast there.
Sorry, I'm sorry. 1 sec. My computer's being like
That's
really
all right.
slow. I'll get back there. You can start talking now.
Yep. So what we're going to do tonight is just give you an overview of what the project that is being proposed is, the scope of the work, the cost apportionment for the project. So to begin with, the City Council authorized this project a while back, and they authorized to start with the preparation of a preliminary engineering report to analyze the reconstruction of 5th Street and 3rd Street. All the infrastructure in the project area was evaluated as part of that report, and the report provides a description of what the proposed improvements are, the cost estimate for the work, a cost apportionment as far as what would be city portion of the project and what would be potentially assessed as part of this project. Next slide, Maggie. So what you see on the screen here then is the project area. So you can see that it's 5th Street all the way from Blue Jay to the east end of 5th Street, where it dead ends currently into the vacant lot there, which is just east of Dogwood. And then also looking at reconstructing 3rd Street between Highway 25 and Blue Jay. Next slide, please. There you go. So the proposed improvements are, again, the complete reconstruction of these roads. So we would be removing all of the existing facilities and replacing them. It is, again, from Highway 25, Blue Jay to Highway 25, and then Highway 25 all the way to the east end of 5th Street, and then the 3rd Street portion. On 5th Street, we're going to have all new curb and gutter that is going to be added as part of the project. The water main is going to be replaced along with the water services to the water shutoff in the boulevard area. The sanitary sewer in the project, the mains will remain in place, but we're proposing to replace the sanitary sewer services within the right-of-way. Next slide, please. And you can kind of just see from a, I guess, a graphical standpoint, here's the water main. Next slide. The sanitary sewer services, again, we're leaving the main in place, but all the services to the properties along here will be replaced. Next slide. So the financing for this total project cost is estimated to be $1,486,239. The city contribution is $891,357, and per policy, the accessible portion of the project would be $594,882.29. Next slide, please. So from an assessment standpoint, the city policy provides for assessing the adjacent benefiting properties. And as you can see from this map, this includes all the properties that are shaded here along 5th Street and then that portion of 3rd Street. Next slide. So as the report has been prepared, the numbers that are presented in the report are per the assessment policy. And what the assessment of policy calls for is that the street portion of the project is assessed on an adjusted front foot basis. So basically the frontage that you have along the road, and that is 30% of the street costs are assessed to the benefiting properties. The new curb and gutter that is being proposed, again, is assessed on a front foot basis, but it is 100% of the cost associated with the curb and gutter when it's when it hasn't been there before. So in this case, it's new curb and gutter, it's 100% assessed. Water main is assessed on a per lot basis. It's 100% for the services to the adjacent benefiting properties as well as the water main cost. And then the corner properties, for those of you who have properties that maybe were assessed on a previous project, the long side of those properties, 1/2 of the actual footage is assessed. The short side is assessed for the actual footage. So on 5th Street, we have a few properties that have been assessed previously. The short side fronts 5th Street, so those will be assessed for 100% of that frontage. On the 3rd Street portion of the project, we had a few properties that were assessed as part of the Highway 25 improvements years ago. Those properties have now the side lot portion of their property on the project, so that would be assessed for 1/2 the actual side footage. Next slide, please.
Sorry, I don't
Next
know why
slide,
it's
Maggie.
up. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
sorry.
That's fine. That's all right.
Should be going. All right, hold on. Gosh. Oh. Okay. I just hope it stays here. Was this your next slide, Dave, or did I go too far?
Nope, that's it. Thank you. So kind of going through that policy, the accessible portion of the project then is the totals for the streets is $286,664 that would be assessed to the benefiting properties. That equates to $96.65 per foot. The curb and gutter is $112,708. That equates to $38 per foot. The water main, again, is a per unit cost that totals $95,366 or $5,298 per unit. The water services, $44,494, and that equates to $2,966.27 per unit. And the sewer services equates to $55,650, which is $3,975 per unit. Next slide, Maggie. So ultimately, the feasibility study has concluded that from an engineering standpoint, that the proposed improvements are feasible, they're cost effective, and they're necessary to maintain the city's infrastructure. And next slide. So as far as the schedule, next steps go, the next portion that's an important date for you to keep in mind is that January 25th is when the improvement hearing is scheduled for the project. And that will be your opportunity to once again learn information about the project, but then your chance to give feedback to the city council regarding either the scope of the project, the costs associated with the project, really any public comments that you have that you believe that the city council should take into consideration before moving on with the project. Assuming that the city wants to continue moving forward with the project, on January 25th would be the point where they would order the improvements. And at that point, what that would trigger then is just for them to authorize the preparations of plans and specifications for the project. On the schedule we're on right now, that would mean that we would look to open bids for the project on March 17th. That would again be a decision point for the council, given the bids that they get for the project, a decision point of whether or not to award the project and continue on to construction. If we stayed on the schedule we're on, the award of the project would happen on March 22nd. We would look to make the improvements over the summer months, and then fall of 2021 would be when the final assessment hearing would happen. So along this process, what we're trying to do here tonight is, again, kind of an initial communication to you to try to give you some information, learn about the project, ultimately giving you a chance then on the 25th to provide feedback to the council. But it wouldn't be until the fall of 2021, if the project goes forward, that the council would then make the final determination as far as the accessible portion of the project. And at that point, they would have had the opportunity, one, to have actual project costs in front of them, but also take your feedback and comments into consideration when making a final determination as to what the accessible portion of the project would be. Next slide, Maggie.
Dave, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. So then tonight, and throughout this process, the idea is we want to give you plenty of opportunities to learn about the proposed improvements, but also have a chance to ask questions, have some discussion. And we can either do that tonight. This is a forum where if you have questions about the project, we have myself and Jeff here to answer them for you. But also want to make sure that you know that you have the opportunity to follow up with us if it's more convenient or more comfortable to follow up after the fact. Our contact information is here, and also you should have the opportunity to find that on the project page on the city's website to contact us, and whether or not you have questions, concerns about the project, if you have some specific issues that you're aware of, or concerns that if we're going to be doing a significant project like this, that you want to make us aware of things that are happening at your property, either from a standpoint of an issue that you believe needs to be corrected, if you have landscaping that you're concerned about, restoration type concerns. Those are the things that we're looking to learn about also, so that we can incorporate them into our design and our construction process. So with that, I'm just going to ask Jeff real quick if he thinks that I left anything out. The one thing I was looking at, Jeff, if you could help me on the assessment policy, I believe I incorrectly said that we assess 100% of the water main. I think it's 30%. Is that correct?
That's correct. We assess 30% of the water main. Other than that,
and
you
100%
covered
of the
everything.
service.
And 100% of the services. Yes.
Yep. So sorry for that. I was just noticing that as we were going through there. So with that, I'd be happy to open it up to any questions or comments. I know we have some of our council members on this call also. I'm not sure if there's anything they'd like to add, or Maggie, if there's anything that you have.
Can you tell me if Jeff's email is correct down there, right on that screen?
So my email is incorrect. My name is spelled properly. So you just have to substitute in the Wyant from my, so it's Weyanddt. So the E and the Y need to get swapped in the email.
Okay. Yeah, this is Maggie McCallum. This is the city administrator. I just wanted to go over again what Dave said. We do have an information section on our website. There's a link on the front page that will take you to the 2021 street project information page, and I will continue to update that when we get new information throughout the project. it does have our contact information, so if anything comes up along the way, feel free to contact us by phone or email. And yeah, any suggestions as to what would be helpful to, as far as updates, just let me know too. So.
And then I guess, yeah, I just want to make sure too is we're, again, Jeff and I are more than willing to answer phone calls or potentially even make a trip out to look at your property if there's something specific that you think that we should be aware of.
Well, hi, Dave and
And
Jeff.
again, this is not going to be, oh, go ahead. Hi, Becky.
Hi, I'm Becky. My husband Troy and I were going to be building a house at the end of 5th Street. So Dave, you've already got numerous phone calls from us, and Jeff, I'm sure you'll hear from us too. But what I'm wondering is, since we're going to be building or hoping to build this summer, like we're hoping excavation hopefully starts in May, at the beginning as soon as we can. Is that going to be getting in the way of this project and what you guys plan on doing, and how we get, equipment through there? And what are your thoughts? Or who do we contact? Do we contact someone to talk about scheduling, or?
Yeah, so my first thought is that we're going to accommodate that. It's going to take some coordination potentially, depending on what's going on at what time and what you have going on with your project. But I believe that that's something that we can figure out and coordinate. The good thing about 5th Street is we do have a couple side roads that come in there, so that even when we're digging some holes, we still have some opportunities to get to the end of the street there from a few different directions. Once we get closer to construction and we have a contractor on board, what we would look to do this spring is have a basically kind of an on-site meeting where we can have an opportunity for people to come out, meet the contractor, meet the inspector that we're going to have on the job, share that contact information with you so that you kind of know the faces and the people that are actually going to be out on the project during construction that are going to be able to kind of coordinate those day-to-day access needs and any specific issues that come up during construction.
Awesome, thanks.
I wasn't sure, Susie, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, we are on the corner of 5th Street and Birch Avenue. So you're saying then we're going to be assessed the front portion, that's our shorter portion, but then we're also going to be assessed for the Birch Avenue? The long side is assessed
No,
1/2?
No, so I'm sorry if I confused that. So first, Susie, what's your address there?
Yeah, we're 120.
120. Okay, I just
Yep.
wanted to make sure I had the right
Sure,
corner there.
yep, Poplar, yep.
No, so your property has already been assessed for the Birch Avenue improvements. When,
Right.
we did the last reconstruction project, the street portion of Birch Avenue was assessed to your property. At that time, you were assessed half that long side of your property. So just pointing out that we know that we have some properties that have been previously assessed, but again, consistent with the assessment policy, then your property would now have the short side facing 5th Street, and so 100% of that frontage would be assessed as part of this project, but nothing on the Birch side.
Okay,
There's no
gotcha.
work plan there.
Thank you. Yeah, that part confused me at first, but yeah, I understand now.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
All right. Nope, that's okay.
Yep.
Now, one other question too. So you mentioned fall 2021, the final assessment hearing. So that's after the work's been done, correct? Because the work would be done between March and the fall if they decide to do it?
Correct.
Okay. So
Correct.
at that point, we would be given our amounts, and then there'd still be time for questions, or that's the amounts are given based on questions that have come in during that time?
I would say both.
Okay.
from a practical standpoint, there's a couple points again that the first opportunity that you're going to have to make kind of on the record comments for the city council is that public hearing on the 25th.
Right, okay.
At that point, it's kind of that go, no go decision is to keep going. At the point that the city council gets the bids for the project, at that point, they're also going to have to make some decisions and understand how they're going to finance the project. So at that point, there still will be some discussions about just, again, are we going to move forward given the bids and an understanding of what they are anticipating from what is going to be an assessed to the benefiting properties and what is going to be city costs, so that the financing can be worked out at that time. So again, that would be another opportunity for them to discuss it, have an understanding, but you're correct that the fall of 2021 would be then another public hearing for you to have one more chance to address the council, give them feedback before they approve a final assessment roll, which would be then based on actual cost and the cost apportionment that they have approved.
Okay, all right. And
does that make sense?
It does, yes, thank you.
Okay.
And then is there any estimate to when the work would actually take place if everything passes and goes forward?
Not exactly. Once we
Okay.
have a contractor on board, we'll have a better idea of that.
Sure.
The schedule that we're on, if you would expect that this would be done probably starting in June, but no firm understanding of that right now. Jeff, did you have any other thoughts on that?
No, we really have to wait until we get a contractor on board. We haven't done the plans yet because they haven't been ordered. But if we prepare the plans and then we prepare the specifications, that's where we have to look at what kind of window are we going to give the contractor to do the work. The more flexible we are with the window, we should get better bids. So, if we put a completion date end of September, that gives them flexibility. They don't necessarily have to start the project in June to meet that completion date. So the short answer is we'll know more when we get a contractor when they plan on starting.
Okay, great. Thank you both.
And then typically just to add to that too, so typically what we've done when we've had kind of that larger window for construction also though is kind of giving them once the plans are done, we'll have a better idea of how long this should take, so that whenever they do start in that window, that we can tighten that up to make sure that they don't start on June 1st and then come and go as they please all summer and until September. So we'll try to tighten that time frame up once they start.
Okay, thanks.
Do you have any
Any other questions, comments?
Okay. I'm not seeing anybody. Do you have any in the comments, Dave? Any comments on your side?
I don't see any. Not right now. And we can
Okay.
certainly hang around for a little bit too, if somebody comes in late here. But
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just a reminder too that our information is on the website under the project section, and you can reach out to us at any time. And then also, yes, just another reminder that the public hearing will be on next Monday, January 25th. That will be virtual, so there will be a link that you will have to similar to tonight, you'll have to log in on Zoom. So that's kind of where we're at with.
And then Maggie,
that.
I'll get you sorry. And Maggie, I'll get you a copy of this presentation too. I fixed up a couple things that we found along the way here, including Jeff's contact information, so that you can get that on the project site too, just for people to follow up after the fact if they need to.
Perfect.
Well, I would say, again, I'm more than happy to hang around here, Maggie, but if the others on here have their questions answered or want to follow up after the fact, I would say feel free to jump off and enjoy the rest of your evening. And again, we'll be in touch, and we're going to try to do our best to make sure that we're getting you a good information, and at the very least, you kind of know who to contact if you have questions or concerns that come up along the way.
Dave, I think we could probably end this, and then I'll upload this to the website, and yeah, we'll just wait for people to contact us outside of this meeting if they have any additional questions.
Yep, that sounds good. We'll be happy to answer questions as best we can. And then, like I say, I will send you this presentation. I fixed this slide with the water main, and then corrected Jeff's spelling on the email. So that should be good to post as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you very much. Have a good night,
All
everyone.
right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Jeff.